Chapter 122. Sure Yao had no idea how long she had slept, but she knew that it wasn't enough. Just as she was feeling drowsy, she was awoken by Jiang Yu's screams. Sure Yao took a look at the time. It was 9 in the morning. She had only slept for 4 hours. I'm really sleepy. Don't make so much noise. Let me sleep a little longer, Sure Yao said weakly. After saying those words weakly, Sure Yao rolled over and prepared to continue sleeping. However, a thought suddenly came to her mind and she added, remember to bring some back for me when you head to the school canteen for lunch. Eat. Eat your head. Yao, hurry up and look at the school forum. He Tiantian's voice was even louder than Jiang Yu's screams. Sure Yao covered her ears and said, there's no need to bother about the forum anymore. I'll deal with it after I'm done sleeping. It'll be too late by the time you deal with it. Besides, there's no need for you to deal with it anymore because... At this point, He Tian seemed to know what Jiang Yu was going to say and she spoke in unison with her. Lin Jiege will deal with it for you. Oh, Sure Yao, who was on the verge of dozing off, replied calmly. Roughly 5 seconds later, she suddenly opened her eyes. Lin Jiege. In the next instant, Sure Yao's drowsiness vanished without a trace. She abruptly sat up, grabbed her phone and tapped into the school forum. Other than G University's female student spends the night with a different man, there were many new threads popping up and they were all extremely popular. Hanjing PK Lin Jiege is clearly the winner. Single for 3 years, Lin Jiege's legendary girlfriend has finally appeared. Great news! Lin Jiege is no longer single. G University is finally mine. Amidst the row of new threads, Sure Yao saw an extremely concise title. Notice plus statement. This title? Who posted this thread? Why is it so ostentatious? Furthermore, it's so popular. It can't be that it's because of someone's scolding, right? With such thoughts in mind, Sure Yao tapped into the thread. The author was 1234567. Its name? What a perfunctory one. With this thought in mind, Sure Yao moved on to the main body of the post. I didn't think that the top students of G University would actually have a PhD in the field of gossip. Alright, let's cut to the chase and get straight to the point. Wasn't this the kill Lubu F***ck Diao Chan mode of posting? The person who posted the thread was really talented. The first picture, that is the car and driver that my grandpa arranged for Yao Yao. I don't know the details of the second picture, but I believe in Yao Yao. As for the third picture, this isn't the first time Yao Yao has been to my house and even without me she would have entered the password to enter my house. As for the fourth picture, I'm hungry. What's wrong with having breakfast together? After reading those 3 sentences, it suddenly dawned on Sure Yao that this was the thread that Jiang Yu and He Tian were talking about, the one that Lin Jiege had helped her deal with. The dirtier your heart is, the dirtier the world you see. Therefore, regarding the post about a certain G University girl spending the night with a different man, I have nothing to say. I'll just give you guys a picture. Below this sentence there was a picture. Sure Yao took a closer look and realized that it was a lawyer's letter. The contents of the lawyer's letter were directed to the entire G University forum. Chapter 123. At the bottom right corner of the post were a few words. Lin Jiege, April 21, 2018. The thread had been reviewed at 6 in the morning, and in just 3 short hours, it had already garnered over 1,000 replies. Other than a bunch of Lin Jiege's fangirls lamenting over the fact that their Adonis was already taken, there were some that were particularly interesting. For example, a sock puppet named A Good Man Forever Flat Chest replied, my current incarnation is called Beast. G University's top students actually all had doctorates in the field of gossip. Those students who are scolding people based on 4 photos, take note, I'm talking about you guys. My grandfather has arranged a car and a driver for Yao Yao. The key phrase is my grandfather and Yao Yao. This isn't just a relationship, they've already met her parents and they're very satisfied with her. They've even arranged a car and a driver for her. I believe in Yao Yao. These 5 simple words smacked the faces of those who were watching the commotion. She knows how to enter my house too, so this means that she knows my house's password. I'm curious, does she know the password to my bank card? She's the only person I've ever kissed. Single dogs, do you understand now? For example, a sock puppet named Little Brother, I'm a Lolita, wanna date? Replied, F***ckf***c. Lin Jiege sure is arrogant. He actually sent a lawyer's letter to the school forum. He's really angry over a beauty, so he's heading straight to the school. Compared to the discussions on the forum, the three in the dormitory room weren't in any way inferior. Tian, to think that my Adonis would appear on the forum for the first time for Yao Yao, and Yao Yao is my roommate. I suddenly feel like I'm getting closer to my Adonis. Jiang Yu, Yao Yao, tell me honestly, what's your relationship with Lin Jiej? You two aren't close, so how do you know his password? If you two aren't close, why would he kiss you? Leng Wan, that's right, if you're not close, will his family arrange a driver and car for you? Faced with everyone's aggressive interrogation, Shi Yao, who was still in a daze from the forum, replied blankly, I don't know. Wait for us to finish browsing the forum first. We'll interrogate you once we're done. Jiang Yu grabbed a pillow and threw it at Shi Yao. Tian seconded, +1. Leng Wan agreed, +2. Without saying a word, Shi Yao turned her gaze back to her phone screen. She read through Lin Jiej's post from start to end, word for word, and only then did her brain begin to operate at an extremely slow pace. Lin Jiej. He clearly didn't want her to get involved with him, so why did he step forward to help her? It was one thing to help her, but the statement was so ambiguous. It was as if their relationship was not ordinary. Could it be that the words of the people on the forum were too harsh, and it triggered the righteous spirit in him, so he conveniently saved the poor little girl who was being attacked by a group of people? Shi Yao pondered for a moment, and she felt that this was the most likely possibility. However, there might be other reasons, but it was a pity that Tian interrupted her thoughts and said, Yao Hanjing has also clarified for you on the forum. He said that it was a classmate gathering that day and we went to karaoke together. There's a KTV right next to it. Right after Tian said those words, Han Jing's call came in. Chapter 124. Han Jing, Shi Yao, I know what happened on the forum. I went up to explain it to you just now. Shi Yao, I saw it too. Thank you, Senior Han. You're welcome. Han Jing paused for a moment before asking with a gentle tone, Yao Yao, are you all right? Shi Yao knew that Han Jing was referring to the forum, so she replied, I'm fine. It's good that you're fine. Han Jing paused for a moment before calling Shi Yao's name once more. Shi Yao? Shi Yao replied. A long time later, when she still didn't hear Han Jing's voice, she called out once more, Senior Han? Han Jing's voice trailed off. In truth, he wanted to ask her if the man singing beside her on the phone that night was Lin Jiej, but he didn't have the courage to do so. After struggling for a long time, he eventually chose to give up. It's fine now. I'll be heading to class now, so I'll be hanging up first. Goodbye, Senior Han. After hanging up the call, Shi Yao glanced at her three roommates huddled together, engrossed in the forum. Without saying a word, she lay down and closed her eyes, intending to catch up on her sleep. She hadn't slept enough and she was so tired that her temples were throbbing. Yet she couldn't fall asleep no matter how she closed her eyes. Her mind was filled with the words Lin Jiej had posted on the forum. Shi Yao had no idea how long her thoughts ran wild before she finally fell into a deep slumber. It was already noon when she was woken up by the aroma of food. Her three roommates had just returned from the canteen, and they were currently sprawled on their desks with their phones in front of them. While they ate, they talked about the forum. Shi Yao climbed out of bed, and when she saw that there was a meal on her desk, she immediately rushed to the bathroom to brush her teeth and wash her face. When she came out, she took out a pair of disposable chopsticks and started wolfing down the food. Damn, this Kill Lu Bu and F***ck Diao Chan. Sure is stubborn. To think that he would post another thread to blacken Yao Yao. I saw it too. What do you mean by saying that Yao Yao is inferior to Qin? Lin Jiej's eye of discernment isn't good enough. The photos that Qin posted were all photoshopped while Yao Yao's photos were all taken with a phone's camera, so the quality of the photos was greatly reduced. Even if they were posted on the forum, they wouldn't look ugly at all. What do you mean by Qin is older than Yao Yao by 3 years and looks younger than Yao Yao? You're lying through your teeth. Why does Yao Yao look like an auntie? Damn, I can smell the stench of jealousy through the screen. Yao Yao, can you stop eating? Take care of yourself? Even if you don't feel sorry for yourself, I feel sorry for you. Wait a moment, Shi Yao replied before turning her gaze back to her food. After she was done eating, she tossed the boxed lunch into the trash can and wiped the table clean. After which she picked up her phone and logged into the school forum. She quickly scanned through the thread that her roommates had been talking about, and most of the replies were saying that she was inferior to Chiniran and that Lin Jie's eye of discernment was terrible. Of course, some of the comments were even more outrageous, such as saying that her photos could ward off evil and how Lin Jie could kiss such an ugly face. Seeing that Shi Yao was browsing through the forum, He Tian immediately walked up to her and said, "Yao Yao, did you see it? Those people are too much. I can't take it anymore." Chapter 125. Shi Yao glanced at He Tian and replied, "No one's forcing me to tolerate it." He Tian didn't quite understand Shi Yao's words. What? As Shi Yao switched on her laptop, she slowly replied, "I meant exactly what I said. Didn't you say that you couldn't tolerate it anymore? Actually, no one's forcing me to tolerate it." Shi Yao keyed in her password and said, "Since you can't tolerate it anymore, you shouldn't tolerate it anymore. Wait. Hearing Shi Yao's words, Jiang Yu rushed over and said, "I don't quite understand what you're saying. If you can't tolerate it anymore, you shouldn't tolerate it anymore. But the question is, why don't you tolerate it anymore? Could it be that you found out who Slaughter Lu Bu Bang Diao-chan is, so you're going to beat him up?" "That's right." Shi Yao nodded as she accepted the gift earnestly. He Tian, nanny? Jiang Yu, what? Leng Wan, ha Yao Yao, you must be joking, right? I'm not. I really know who Slaughter Lu Bu Bang Diao-chan. Shi Yao said as she clicked on the mouse and a series of screenshots appeared. "This is the result of my sleepless night. I dug out all of her previous and current posts. Take a look. This is her previous username, Qin Iran the Campus Belle, I won't tolerate rebuttals. This is her previous username, I'm the goddess, I'm afraid of no one. This is her previous username." Facing her roommates who were staring at her computer screen with their mouths agape, Shi Yao's expression didn't change much. Instead, she swiftly tapped on the screenshots and said, "This is the username she used when she first registered for the forum, Beautiful Iran. Take a look at her profile picture. Leng Nuan was the first to speak up. Isn't that Qin Iran?" Shi Yao wasn't in a hurry to respond to Leng Nuan's question. Instead, she took out 2 more screenshots and said, "Take a look at this. This is Qin Iran's QQ ID that I found from the school forum. This is her QQ space, and this message was automatically shared to talk about when she registered for the school forum. So I'm certain that Slaughter Lu Bu and F*CK Diao-chan is Qin Iran. When she first registered for the school forum, she used her QQ account to log in, so all of her information was synced with her QQ account. These are all the posts that Qin Iran has made over the past few years, as well as her replies. Take a look at this. When she was in year 1, there was a female senior who competed with her for the position of Campus Belle, and she scolded the other party. Take a look at this. 2 years ago, there was a female student who planned the event together with Lin Jie, and Qin Iran said that the other party was ugly. Take a look at this. Not too long ago, Leng Nuan competed with her for the position of Campus Belle, and Leng Nuan nearly overtook her. Chapter 126. Jiang Yu also came back to her senses. As if she had seen some kind of bizarre creature, she stared at Shi Yao from head to toe for a while before asking weakly, "Are you Shi Yao?" Shi Yao picked up her student ID from the table and asked, "Do you want to verify it?" He Tian was the last one to recover from her shock. She snatched Shi Yao's student ID away and stared at the identical face on the ID for a long while before exclaiming, "Yao Yao, it turns out that you're not only good at eating. I'm the best at eating, and I'm not only good at eating." After replying to He Tian, Shi Yao shot a glance at her 3 roommates, and when she saw the lingering shock in their eyes, she couldn't help but mutter in her heart, "This is really weird. I didn't do anything at all, so why are they making such a big fuss about it?" This was especially so for He Tian. Her tone when she said Yao, "It turns out that you're not only good at eating," made her feel a sense of gratification, as if she had a daughter growing up in her family. Perplexed, Shi Yao tapped into the school forum to register an account. When she was done, she tilted her head to the side and put on a bitter expression as she tried to think of a username. At that moment, the 3 roommates behind her finally came to their senses. "I've always thought that my Yao is a bronze. To think that she's actually a hidden challenger king. I suddenly feel that my Yao's image in my heart has changed from a cute chibi character to a mesmerizing young lady. In the past I only dared to ask my Yao for help when buying food. But now I finally realize how short-sighted I was back then. Jiang Yu noticed that Shi Yao's computer was on the school forum, so she walked over and asked, Yao Yao, what are you doing? I'm registering an account. Shi Yao replied. Then she paused for a moment before adding. But I don't know what username I should use. He isn't that simple? Lotus leaf He ancient and cultured. Jiang Yu, tisk, it's not as good as I love Li Yifeng. Ling Wan, are the two of you dumb? It won't take long for the entire school to know who you are if you use your own WeChat ID. Jiang Yu, then. Li Yifeng love J and JY is Jiang Yu. He you shameless fellow. Why don't you call yourself Aoi? Lotus leaf He there's no need to argue anymore. Yao Yao has already come up with a name. As Leng Wan spoke, she leaned closer to Shi Yao's computer screen and moved her lips once more. Pan-fried pot stickers, Xilong Bao, lobster ramen and barbecue. Jiang Yu and He fell silent for 3 seconds before looking at one another and nodding their heads. As if telepathically connecting their minds, they said, that's very Shi Yao. While they were speaking, Shi Yao's fingers were already furiously tapping on the keyboard. G University's campus belle Qiniran is dreaming of killing Lu Bu and F** King Diao Chan. Yao, your title is perfect. Jiang Yu couldn't help but burst into laughter. It's not just amazing, it's absolutely amazing. While He was speaking, Shi Yao had already typed out the main body of the post. Who would have thought that G University's campus belle Qiniran would dream of killing Lu Bu and F** CK Diao Chan? Let's not waste any more time and get straight to the picture. Leng Wan, this trope has really been overused. First it was Lin Jiege who used it and now it's Yao Yao. Haha, is everyone going to start their posts with this in the future? I'm convinced from the bottom of my heart. I've always thought that you're a glug 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 glug. But who could have thought that you're actually a black-bellied glug 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 glug? As Jiang Yu spoke, she rushed up to Shi Yao and hugged her tightly. What should I do? Yao, I suddenly feel like I love you so much. I want to marry you. Leng Nuan, now that you mention it, I suddenly feel like Qiniran is nothing more than a piece of paper in front of you. As he dried his hair with a towel, he opened the computer that hadn't been switched on since last night and glanced at the school forum. His post was the first one. The second was a new post by Kill Lu Bu and Fuck Diao Chan. The title was School Hunk Lin's taste is really hard to accept. Casually tapping into the thread, Zhang Shen saw that all of them were praising Qiniran for being an unparalleled beauty while belittling Shi Yao for being so ugly that it was beyond description. You must be joking. Soft Bun is ugly and Qiniran is beautiful? They probably didn't even know how to write the word beautiful, right? Even if Qiniran were to be stacked 10 times, she still wouldn't be able to match up to a single toe of Soft Bun's. Chapter 129. With this thought in mind, Lin Jiege exited the school forum and sat in front of his computer. Yawning, he lazily typed on the keyboard. There were some things that one wouldn't know if one didn't look into it, but once one did, one would be surprised. When he obtained the IP address of Slaughter Lu Bu Fuck Diao Chan and hacked into the school network, he found the coordinates of the IP address and found out who the mastermind was. He was a little surprised. Following which he realized that there were quite a few active sock puppets on the forum that originated from that IP address, such as Tearing Apart Green Tea Bitch, Why Become a Chicken. This is getting interesting. To think that the campus belle Qiniran, who was pursued by all the male students in the school, would actually be a veteran forum user. It's one thing for her to be a forum user, but to think that she would use so many shameful sock puppets to slander others. But that didn't seem to be the most shocking thing. Lin Jiege tapped on the keyboard as he browsed through the thread. When he reached the end of the thread, he shook his head and clicked his tongue 3 times. This campus belle sure is weird. It's just a random poll on the forum and she actually wants to vote for her. It's no wonder why she's able to win the title of Campus Belle every year. In the end, she's actually crowning herself as the Campus Belle. If this matter were to be made public, there would really be a good show to watch. Lin Jiege's fingers tapped on the keyboard in a seemingly random manner, and the clicking sound of a screenshot echoed. following which he switched back to the school forum. He was just about to register an alternate account to share his findings when a new thread suddenly popped up. G University's campus belle Qin Yiran fantasizes Lu Bu fucked Yao Chan. Yeah, this title sure has some talent. Who could it be? Lin Jiage subconsciously tapped on it and took a look at the poster. Pan-fried pot stickers, Xilong Bao, lobster ramen and barbecue. Suppressing the urge to spurt blood, Lin Jiage went to check the IP address of the poster. Before the results came out, Lin Jiage had already vaguely guessed who it was, but he found it hard to believe. However, the results proved that it was indeed Shi Yao's IP address. So, soft bun isn't a soft bun that anyone can bully, but a soft bun who knows how to fight back? It seems like my worries last night were a little unnecessary. With such thoughts in mind, Lin Jiage returned to the school forum and browsed through Shi Yao's post. Who would have thought that G University's campus belle Qin Yiran would dream of killing Lu Bu and F***ck Yao Chan? Let's cut to the chase and get straight to the picture. Not bad. Soft bun's ability to learn on the spot isn't too bad. Lin Jiage scrolled through the screenshots carefully, and the more he looked at them, the more astonished he became. It wasn't until he finished reading the 3 paragraphs of text at the end of the screenshots that his lips slowly crept up. The little fiancée that his grandfather had arranged for him was not bad. She actually hid so many secrets that surprised him. Since Soft Bun had already uncovered the identity of Qin Yiran, there was no need for him to register a new account to post anymore. However, he still had to add fuel to the fire. With this thought in mind, Lin Jiage turned around and called out to the sleeping Lu Benlai, "Do you want to go to Golden Resplendence?" As soon as Lin Jiage said those words, the two of them immediately sat up and replied in unison, "Yes." Chapter 130. Lin Jiage tapped on the computer screen and said leisurely, "Register an account on the school forum and upvote a thread. Once we're back at Golden Resplendence, we'll take you to the skies." "Alright, Daddy. Don't worry, I'm the best at upvoting posts." Xia Shangzhou leaped off his bed and rushed into the bathroom to wash up. Lu Benlai followed suit. Soon the two of them came out and sat down in front of their respective computers. "Boss, send me the thread." Lin Jiage pasted and copied the thread before tossing it to the two of them. Xia Shangzhou took a look at the thread and asked, "Boss, did you post this thread?" Lin Jiage couldn't get enough of Shi Yao's thread. "No, it's that year 1 junior who's been rumored to have a relationship with me." "Oh, so it's my mom," Lu Benlai said as he registered an account. "All the more reason for me to upvote it. So it's my mom." Those 5 words made Lin Jiage's heart burst with joy. "I'll take you to Golden Resplendence for 2 nights. Xia Shangzhou glared at Lu Benlai before turning to Lin Jiage pitifully. "Why are you taking him there for 2 nights? Boss, you're biased, you're unfair, you love little Lai not." At this point, Xia Shangzhou seemed to have thought of something and immediately corrected himself. "Daddy, don't worry, I'll open 3,000 alternate accounts to upvote my mom's thread." Lin Jiage, 2 nights. "Deal," Xia Shangzhou said as he stopped typing on the keyboard. A moment later he started typing once more. "Little Lai, what name did you give yourself? Isn't my name awesome? I have a harem of 3,000 beauties." Lu Benlai, "Me? My name is Earth Needed by Bro." Hugging a family bucket, Shi Yao munched on it while paying attention to the happenings on the school forum. Accompanying her were her 3 roommates. Of them, He Tian and Jiang Yu were the noisiest, chattering non-stop. "There's actually someone trying to clear Qin Yiran's name, saying that it's just a name, what's the big deal about it? But there are also many people flaming her, saying that she's pretending to be virtuous and that their worldview has been shattered by the name she came up with. Especially this guy with a harem of 3,000 beauties. His reply isn't very classic. Campus belle, wake up. You don't have a big bird. You can kill Lu Bu, but you can't F***ck Yao Chan ha. This is called the earth was squeezed round by Big Bro." The reply is so funny. "Upstairs, you've typed wrongly. It's not campus belle, it's a joke." Hearing those words, Lin Wan couldn't help but burst into laughter. Then she turned to Shi Yao, who was munching on her fried chicken, and said, Yao, it should be about time for the second thread, right? There are already people saying that Qin Yiran is deleting the thread." With food still in her mouth, Shi Yao nodded her head with a un before swallowing the entire fried chicken in her hand. After wiping her hands with a napkin, she switched on her laptop and posted the post she had prepared beforehand. During the day there were people guarding the back end of the forum, and the posts were quickly reviewed. Just as Shi Yao had said earlier in the afternoon, the school forum was currently at its peak. In less than half an hour after the thread was published, it had already become a hot topic. I didn't think that Qiniran would use an alternate account to insult so many people. You really can't judge a book by its cover. She usually acts so elegant and kind in front of everyone, but behind their backs she's actually such a sharp and unkind existence. Chapter 131. It turns out that Campus Belchin, oh no, Campus Farchin has more than one sock puppet. Tearing apart green tea bitch, why did you become a chicken? I want to sleep with Lin Jej Qiniran, I love you. I know that you all want proof. Beg me. Even if you don't beg me, I'll still show it to you. My hands are itching, so I logged into the school's network to check the IP address of Slaughter Lubu Bang Diaochan, and I found the following screenshots. He Tian, who was more concerned about, the earth was molded round by Big Bro, and I have a harem of 3,000 beauties, was the first to comment. The heck, I thought that the earth was molded round by Big Bro was an idiot, but it turns out that he's actually a hidden computer expert. Jiang Yu, that's not the main point, alright? The main point is that the screenshots that Bro Earth posted are way too explosive. Qiniran actually has so many sock puppets under her name. I'm afraid that 5 out of the top 10 sock puppets on the forum are her. I know, right? The one who exposed Yao Yao's information is this tearing apart the green tea bitch. And the one who said that Yao Yao was playing around with 2 people is why did you act like a chicken if you knew that would happen? That's why the thread that slandered Yao Yao was created by Qiniran. Compared to He Tian and Jiang Yu, Leng Nuan had always been the more rational one. Bro Earth is an ally, so his exposure is a timely reign. Everything is Qiniran's sock puppet, and Yao Yao's main thread exposed the screenshots of her slandering many of her alumni. Yao Yao doesn't even need to do anything, and everyone will think that Yao Yao has been slandered by Qiniran. On the other hand, Qiniran's reputation is going to be completely ruined. She deserves it. Does she think that she doesn't have to pay a price just because she's talking through the internet? That's just because it's not the right time yet. I hate people like her the most. Calling her a keyboard warrior is no different from insulting the keyboard. She's a maggot of the internet. Jiang Yu had always been a person who was always on the right, so she didn't hold back at all. Wow, it's really like what Nuanyuan said. After the people on the forum saw Brother Earth's revelation, they completely blew up. As He Tian scrolled through the forums, she picked out the classic replies and read them out loud. The heck, Campus Farchin must have a split personality. In the end, Shi Yao's post was all fabricated by her. But come to think of it, she's really scary. To think that she would stalk Shi Yao for so long, take these photos and then post them on the forums to slander Shi Yao. Mommy, save me. I'm so scared. Oh my god, what a great show. I'm afraid this is going to be recorded in G University's history. Qiniran sure is shameless. To think that she would open up a sock puppet and say that I want to sleep with Lin Jej. Has she gone mad from yearning for men? I've seen narcissistic people, but I've never seen someone as narcissistic as you. Qiniran, I love you and you love yourself. You're probably just being narcissistic. I'm sorry to start a dirty joke. Everyone, please pretend that you didn't see anything. In the past, I didn't dare to say anything on the forum because I knew that if I were to say anything bad about Campus Farchin, I'd be attacked from all sides. But now I can say it boldly. Previously, there was a person who was in charge of the New Year's Eve gala with Lin Jej. Campus Farchin went to look for the other party and asked the other party to give up their position so that she and Lin Jej could be in charge of the New Year's Eve gala. However, the other party rejected her, and in the end, Campus Farchin went to seduce the other party's boyfriend and forcefully broke them up. Previous poster, I'm the same as you. I didn't dare to expose her either. Chapter 132. Seeing that she had achieved the effect she wanted, Shi Yao stretched her back lazily and yawned. Now it's time to wrap things up. After everyone is done scolding Qiniran, we'll be able to post the third thread. My photo. Stop. The person who called me I have a harem of 3,000 beauties also replied and revealed an even bigger piece of information. He Tian read aloud agitatedly. This humble student is also untalented, but my hands were itching for a fight, so I went to the campus to browse the internet as well. Then I discovered an even more frightening situation. I have 3,000 smurfs and no one dares to challenge me. Faced with Farschine's powerful troll army, I admit defeat, sob sob sob. At this point Tian paused. She stared at her phone intently for a moment before widening her eyes and exclaiming, "Holy shit! I've uploaded a screenshot of the Emperor's harem of 3,000 beauties. It's a screenshot of Qin Iran cheating during the campus bell selection. I saw it. I didn't expect that my harem of 3,000 beauties was also a godly assist." Jiang Yu nodded as she began reading through the replies. Qin Iran is being criticized so badly. They say that she's a hypocrite and pretentious. All in all the words that didn't belong to her before have become synonymous with her. At this moment in room 501 of the male dormitory, Lu Benlai stared at a photo that he had saved on the forum, and a look of infatuation surfaced on his face. "It's the girl I said the other day that if I were to meet her again I'd woo her. Her name is Leng Nguan, and she's in the same dorm as Boss Little Jr. Damn it, campus farce Qin actually dared to insult my future girlfriend." Xia Shangzhou sighed faintly. "Why am I always the one who gets hurt? Your goddess is still your goddess, but my goddess has become my mother." Leaning against the back of his chair, Lin Jiej's body swayed slightly. He happened to be drinking a mouthful of water, and upon hearing Xia Shangzhou's words he nearly choked on it. He pretended to be calm and composed. After swallowing all the water he picked up the package he had just received and tossed it to Xia Shangzhou. "This is to compensate you." "What is it, boss?" Xia Shangzhou glanced at the box, which had a certain company's logo on it. Lin Jiej didn't say a word. He looked as if he wouldn't open it to take a look himself. Xia Shangzhou took out the key and opened the box, only to see a brand new phone inside. It was the same brand as the one Lin Jiej had destroyed yesterday, but it was the latest model. "Boss, the reason why I call you my goddess is because you're my Adonis." Lu Benlai stared enviously at Xia Shangzhou, who was happily activating his new phone, before turning to Lin Jiej and asking, "Boss, are you in a good mood?" "If it's not good, little Lilai's phone is shouting at you, 'Please smash me hard, please smash me hard. Fall your head. Fall." Lin Jiej moved his mouse around and swiftly browsed through the forum. After which he sent the two photos over to Lu Benlai and said, "Start a new thread. Let's name it Shi Yao PK Qiniran. Who's the winner?" "Yes, boss." After receiving the photos, Lu Benlai was stunned for a moment before asking, "Boss, where did you get these two ID photos of Farce Qin and Little Jr.?" Lin Jiej stared at Shi Yao's identification photo on his computer screen as he replied nonchalantly, "I was bored earlier, so I hacked into the school's database and stole it." Xia Shangzhou pinched his thumb and middle finger together and said a line from Diao Chan from Kings of Glory in a very cooperative and thin voice. "You're staring at me so directly, it's so embarrassing." Lu Benlai casually grabbed a piece of tissue paper and used it as a handkerchief. Waving his hand seductively, he shot a coquettish glance at Xia Shangzhou before adding, "Receiving too many love letters is also a form of frustration. Lunatic." Chapter 134. Brother Earth's post is about Yao Yao PK Qiniran, and Yao Yao completely crushed Qiniran. Jiang Yu quickly scanned through the replies and commented, "Who do you think this Brother Earth is? Why does he have the same thoughts as Yao Yao? It's just that Brother Earth is even more ruthless than Yao Yao." He posted an ID photo of Yao Yao and Qiniran. You should know that ID photos can make a person look uglier by many folds. But Yao Yao's ID photo is so beautiful that I couldn't even recognize Qiniran's ID photo. Brother Earth is really too vicious, but I like it. Huh. Tian couldn't help but laugh out loud as she rolled around on her bed. Jiang Yu, regardless, the matter has been resolved perfectly. However, I'm still curious about how Qiniran is looking at the moment. Is she crying? I wonder how her roommates will view her now. If I were in her shoes, I'd probably be too ashamed to face anyone after all the dirty deeds I've done. Now that you mention it, I'm curious as well. However, what I'm more curious about is, as she spoke, Tian turned to Shi Yao and asked, "Yao Yao, what's going on between you and school Adonis Lin?" Hearing Tian's words, Jiang Yu also recalled the matter and said, "That's right. Yao, it's time for you to come clean. I won't believe you if you say that there's nothing going on between you and Lin Jiej." Leng Wan happened to be washing an apple for Shi Yao when she heard Jiang Yu and He Tiantian's words. She shook the apple in her hand and said with a smile, "Yao Yao, you'll be lenient if you come clean, but you'll be severely punished if you refuse." Shi Yao stared at the apple with a conflicted look in her eyes. After a long struggle, she eventually succumbed to the temptation and chose to come clean. After hearing her explanation, the three of them stared at Shi Yao with the "Who are you trying to fool?" look on their faces. Eventually He Tiantian spoke up, "Yao Yao, I didn't think that you had the potential to be an author. Child betrothal? To think that you would be able to come up with something like that. Jiang Yu, even if it's a child betrothal, Yao Yao, can't you be a little more careful with your story? You want to annul the engagement? You're wrong, aren't you? Lin Jiege is the one who wants to annul the engagement? Leng Wan, Lin Jiege's grandfather happened to be sick, so you didn't annul the engagement immediately. As the saying goes, there's no such thing as a story without coincidences. Yao Yao, I'll give you 100 points for your storytelling ability. He Tiantian, we kissed Lin Jiege while we were playing a game. What kind of game is that? Give me 100 times. What was wrong with this world? Why was it that no one believed her when she told the truth? Shi Yao stretched her hand toward the apple in Leng Wan's hand, but seeing that Leng Wan was still unwilling to give it to her, she could only raise her hand and swear, "I swear that everything I've said is the truth. If there's even a single lie in my words, I'll starve to death." Jiang Yu, for a foodie, starving to death is the biggest curse for her. It seems like it's true. Wan, give her the apple. I want some time alone. Hidantung, this world is so fantastical. I also need some peace and quiet. Leng Wan passed the apple back to Shi Yao. Even though she didn't say a word, it was clear from her expression that she wanted some peace and quiet as well. Shi Yao took the apple, and barely after she took a bite, her three roommates suddenly started chattering among themselves. "My God, a child betrothal? Why is Yao Yao so lucky? Why didn't my grandfather arrange a child betrothal for me? Kiske, who was the one who said that even my Adonis wouldn't be able to tolerate it? Between my Adonis and Yao Yao, I'm going to choose Yao Yao. It's all plastic sisterhood." With such thoughts in mind, Shi Yao took another bite of the apple. Chapter 135. It was only at midnight that the dormitory room finally quietened down. Perhaps it was because she had experienced too many things today, but Shi Yao didn't feel sleepy at all. She closed her eyes and lay down for a while. Eventually she picked up her phone, searched for Lin Jiege's name, and sent him a message. "Are you asleep?" After sending the message over, Shi Yao suddenly realized that there was something indescribably weird about the words she had just sent over. Their relationship didn't seem so polite that they would ask each other whether they were asleep or not. Based on her current understanding of Lin Jiege, he probably wouldn't reply to her message at all. With this thought in mind, Shi Yao typed a few more times on the keyboard. But before she could finish typing, a new message popped up on her screen. "Lin Jiege, nope." Her understanding of the world had actually been slapped. Shi Yao secretly touched her face. And just as she was about to type out another message popped up on her screen. "Lin Jiege, what's wrong?" Not to mention it was one thing to be slapped in the face, but it still hurt a little. Shi Yao touched her face once more before completing her half-typed message and sending it over to Lin Jiege. "There's something I'd like to explain to you." Lin Jiege instantly replied. Question mark. That's a very Lin Jiege reply. Shi Yao didn't think that there was anything wrong with it, so she focused on typing. But halfway through, Lin Jiege sent another message. "What's the matter?" Shi Yao paused her typing. Looking at the two consecutive messages from Lin Jiege, she felt a little overwhelmed by the favor. This reply was very unlike Lin Jiege. When had he ever been so proactive in replying to her messages? Unless it was something very important that he had to say, he would never say another word to her unless it was absolutely necessary. Shi Yao looked through her chat history with Lin Jiege, and the more she looked at it, the more she felt that something was amiss. Could it be that the person on the other end wasn't Lin Jiege at all? With such thoughts in mind, Shi Yao deleted the words she had typed earlier and sent a new message. "May I know if you are Lin Jiege?" Lin Jiege was lying on his bed at 11:30. Just as he was about to doze off, the phone that he had set to silent suddenly lit up by his ear. Having his drowsiness disturbed, he picked up his phone in displeasure and took a look at the screen. Are you asleep? It was a message from Soft Bun. It was just 3 simple words, but it made him feel a little ambiguous in the middle of the night. His sleepiness instantly disappeared. He raised his phone and typed no back to her. After a pause he added, "What's wrong?" Soft Bun replied swiftly, "There's something I'd like to explain to you." Lin Jage habitually replied with a question mark. Then he felt that such a reply was too indifferent, so he added, "What's the matter?" He was no longer sleepy and felt a little thirsty, so he got off the bed quietly. Just as he steadied himself, another message came in. "Excuse me, are you Lin Jage?" If he wasn't Lin Jage, how could he possibly be Gejiao Lin? With one hand on the keyboard, Lin Jage poured himself a glass of water and asked, "What do you think?" After the message was sent, it took a while for her to reply to his message. Lin Jage, who was in the midst of drinking water, unlocked the screen and took a look. Yao only sent 2 words over. "Grandpa. Grandpa." Lin Jage choked on his saliva. Yao, thank you. Yao, it's about the forum." She sent 3 messages in a row. The first part of the message was incoherent, but he understood. It was very strange. His originally unhappy mood because of her 3 sentences inexplicably softened. He didn't reply to her message, but he stared at the screen for a long time. Eventually he flipped open his notebook and typed a few lines. Passion fruit, loquat, watermelon, pineapple, pomegranate. Potato chips, roasted duck, milk tea, ice cream. He paused for a moment before adding a few more words after ice cream, and the second line became, potato chips, roasted duck, milk tea, ice cream, vanilla. Chapter 138. Yao, who had stayed up all night the previous day, couldn't stand the drowsiness any longer and fell asleep before he could reply. By the time she woke up, it was already noon. The dormitory room was very quiet. Just like her, He Tian and Jiang Yu had also just woken up. On the other hand, Leng Nuan had woken up at some point in time, and she had already cleaned up the dormitory room. She had also re-watered the plants by the window, and a light breeze blew in through the open window, filling the entire room with the fragrance of the gardenias that had bloomed among the plants. There was only one class today, AP class at 3:30 p.m. After lunch, the 4 girls returned to their dormitory room and applied several layers of sunscreen before heading to the school field together. They arrived rather early, so there wasn't much people around. Thus, the 4 of them chose a shady spot to chat. Not too long later, the rest of the students in the class also rushed over. However, there were also some unfamiliar students who had rushed over as well. That's weird. If I recall correctly, our class was the only one participating in this lesson. Why is there another class here? Did another class change their schedule? He Tian muttered as she looked at the crowd that had doubled in number compared to the previous physical education classes. At 3:30 p.m., a male teacher walked over and whistled, gesturing for the students to gather. Year 3 Mathematics faculty, gather on the right. Year 1 English faculty, gather on the left. This isn't our PE teacher. The students in Yao's class mocked and cursed silently, but they still obediently lined up. After the 2 classes were lined up, the male PE teacher spoke up. Year 1, your Wang Laosher is pregnant, so I'm afraid that she won't be able to teach you this semester. I'll be taking over her class for the time being, but due to the large number of classes, we might have to work together for the time being. Alright, let's cut to the chase. I'll start with the roll call. As the teacher spoke, he raised the roll call book and started from year 1. A full attendance rate. Not bad. After the roll call was over, the teacher praised Yao's class for their performance before moving on to the year 3 students. 20 names were called, but 3 of them were missed. When the 21st name was called, Yao's class couldn't help but burst into laughter. That name was really unique, Xia Shangzhou. He Tian, who was standing behind Yao, leaned over and whispered in Yao's ear, Xia Shangzhou, I'm still called Yuan Mingqing. Xia Shangzhou didn't arrive, so the physical education teacher called out another name, Lu Benlai. Another burst of laughter sounded around Yao. This time it was Jiang Yu who was standing beside He Tian, who spoke up, Lu Benlai, what a perfunctory name a mother gave her son. Before everyone's laughter could fade, the physical education teacher had already marked Lu Benlai's name with a cross, indicating that he was absent. After which he continued calling out names, Lin Jiej. In an instant, the voices around Shi Yao abruptly vanished without a trace. When no one replied yes, the physical education teacher shouted once more, Lin Jiej. Just as the PE teacher picked up his pen and was about to cross again, a voice came from behind him. Here. Her voice was very light, like herbal tea in summer, soothing and pleasing to the ear. Everyone turned to look behind them. Dressed in a white tracksuit, Lin Jiej leisurely strolled over. There were two people behind him. One was wearing a flashy yellow tracksuit and the other was wearing a dark blue tracksuit. Chapter 139. When the three of them approached, the man in dark blue sportswear was the first to speak. Teacher, Xia Shangzhou has arrived. Following which the flamboyant yellow sportswear also spoke up. Lu Benlai is here too. Another burst of laughter rang out. As soon as the three of them entered the group, Shi Yao's surroundings immediately burst into an uproar. My gosh, we're actually having a physical education class with Lin Jiej. From then on I fell in love with PE class. He's so handsome in person. He looks even taller than in the photos. Another whistle sounded, and the teacher who had finished taking attendance signaled for everyone to be quiet. Alright, let's warm up first. Everyone line up and run 3 laps around the field. Amidst the rising and falling wails, everyone had a look of unwillingness on their faces. Hurry up. The PE teacher whistled again. Only then did everyone line up in a crooked line, listlessly running around the field. Perhaps it was due to her menstrual cycle. She felt a little uncomfortable after the first round. Halfway through the second round she couldn't take it anymore, so she stopped and started walking slowly. When Shi Yao passed by the rostrum she noticed that a few of the Year 3 male students had already finished their run, and they were either leaning against the wall or squatting on the ground chatting with one another. Lin Jiej's position was very far away, but it was also the most conspicuous. He was leaning lazily against the rostrum with his head tilted to the side, listening to the words of the flamboyant man in yellow sportswear. The dark blue sportswear was there as well. He was squatting beside the flamboyant man's bright yellow feet. No one knew what flamboyant Ming Huang said, but dark blue sportswear said something and was kicked to the ground by flamboyant Ming Huang. Upon seeing this sight, Lin Jiej chuckled softly. When Shi Yao walked past the rostrum, 2 Year 3 female students who weren't jogging walked over to Lin Jiej's group with a few bottles of water in their hands. They passed the water to the boys one by one. The boy didn't refuse and accepted it with a grin. But when it reached Lin Jiej's side, as if he didn't see the bottle of water in front of him, he turned to flamboyant yellow and began speaking impassively. As he spoke, he raised his hand and wiped his forehead, which was covered in sweat from the run. This series of movements was done in an elegant and smooth manner, brimming with youth. After passing the rostrum, they walked for a distance to where the PE teacher was standing. There was a girl standing next to the PE teacher and the two of them were talking about something. Shi Yao recognized the young lady. She was Qin Yiran. Compared to her previous bright and beautiful appearance when she appeared at school, she now looked a little haggard. She wore a lot of makeup, but it couldn't hide her red and swollen eyes. She must have cried for the entire night, right? While Shi Yao was deep in thought, she saw Qin Yiran smiling at the physical education teacher and preparing to leave. However, before she could even lift her foot, she suddenly froze and turned around to look at Shi Yao. Shi Yao didn't avoid Qin Yiran's gaze and openly met it. It was only after Qin Yiran admitted defeat and left that Shi Yao began walking toward the physical education teacher. The PE teacher said, "What's wrong? Can't run anymore?" Shi Yao nodded. "I don't feel too well." The teacher pointed to a shady spot at the side. "If you're not feeling well, take a break." Shi Yao, "Thank you, teacher." Qin Yiran had already walked a distance away when she heard those words. She halted her footsteps for a moment, but she didn't turn around. A moment later she hastened her footsteps and left. Chapter 140. Soft Bun really can't do it. She's so thin and frail and she's already in such a state after just a single run. Boss, what are you looking at? Lu Benlai's voice sounded in his ears. Lin Jiege casually retracted his gaze from Shi Yao and replied nonchalantly, "It's nothing. Oh boss, I've decided. When we're free to move around later, I'll ask my goddess for her phone number," Lu Benlai said as he glanced at Leng Yuan, who was running in his direction. Xia Shangzhou raised his head and added, "I made a bet with him. If I get her number, I'll treat everyone to a drink. If I don't get her number, he'll treat everyone to a drink." And Lin Jiege replied nonchalantly. A few seconds later, his gaze slowly turned back to Shi Yao. The girl who had been squatting on the ground for a while seemed to have recovered from her exhaustion. She stood up and started chatting with another girl who had just finished her run with a smile on her face. A second after she finished chatting with that girl, a few other girls also finished their runs and greeted her with smiles on their faces. Lin Jiege couldn't help but stare at them for a while longer. Then he realized that almost all of the girls in Shi Yao's class were chatting with her after they had finished their run. It seemed like Soft Bun was a little too popular. It was rare to see a girl who could get along well with all of the other girls in the class. Just how many surprises were hidden within Soft Bun's slender body? It was just a coincidence that they were having a physical education class together, but it still managed to bring him a pleasant surprise. After finishing their run, they rested for around 5 minutes before the physical education teacher had everyone do 50 sit-ups before allowing them to move around freely. Jiang Yu and He Tiantian wanted to head to the washroom, so they called for Shi Yao and Leng Yuan to accompany them. Just as the 4 girls were about to enter the nearest teaching block, a few male students walked out from within. 2 of them left the deepest impression on them because their names were simply too easy to remember. One of them was Lu Benlai and the other was Xia Shangzhou. Shi Yao and the others tactfully moved to the side to open up the exit. However, the men didn't seem to have any intention of coming out. They stood at the entrance and stared at the 4 ladies for a moment before Lu Benlai, who was dressed in a gaudy yellow robe, began walking toward them. Jiang Yu and He Tiantian had always been self-aware, so upon seeing this sight, they immediately turned their gazes toward Leng Yuan and Shi Yao, wondering who the young man was going to hit on. Lu Benlai stopped before Leng Yuan and said, "Hello, I'm Lu Benlai." Upon hearing this name once more, He Tiantian and Jiang Yu couldn't help but chuckle softly. Lu Benlai paused for a moment, but he didn't get angry. Staring at Leng Yuan, he continued, "May I know if it's possible for us to exchange phone numbers?" Leng Yuan had a considerate personality, but that was only limited to females. As long as she was around males, she would immediately turn cold. Take this moment for example. Without any hesitation she replied, "I can't." Xia Shangzhou, who was standing on the side, was trying his best to hold in his laughter. Unwilling to give up, Lu Benlai spoke up once more, "It's fine if you don't want to exchange phone numbers. Can you tell me your phone number then?" Leng Yuan fell silent for a moment before reciting a string of numbers to Lu Benlai. After which she grabbed Shi Yao with one hand and He Tiantian, who was holding Jiang Yu's arm, with the other, and quickly left. Chapter 141. After the girls entered the washroom, Lu Benlai chuckled as he tapped on the 11 digits he had saved earlier and dialed it. After the call connected, Lu Benlai spoke first. "Student, this is my phone number. Remember to save it because this number could very well be the most important 11 digits in your life in the future." Before Lu Benlai could finish his words, he suddenly froze. Roughly 3 seconds later, he swiftly hung up the phone while cursing, "The heck, that's the number of the school's academic affairs director, and it's even Abbas Miju's number." Unable to hold himself back any longer, Xia Shangzhou clutched his stomach and mocked. "The most important 11 digits in your life. You're making me laugh to death." When Shi Yao walked out of the washroom, she thought that the year 3 male students would have already left. Who could have thought that they would still be there when they reached the entrance of the school building? But this time there was Lin Jiege. When Shi Yao looked at Lin Jiege, he wasn't even looking at her. His head was lowered as he tapped on his phone. Shi Yao hesitated for 2 seconds before deciding not to greet him. However, just as they were about to walk out of the school building, Flashy Boy Huang, who had tried to strike up a conversation with Leng Yuan, suddenly straightened his back. A huge bag had appeared in his hands and he walked over to them. "You must be thirsty after a PE lesson, right? I bought some drinks so you can pick one each." As he spoke, Lu Benlai opened the bag and passed it to the 4 girls. The one who had tried to strike up a conversation with him was Leng Yuan. He Tian Jiang Yu and Shi Yao didn't choose their drinks. Instead they turned to look at Leng Yuan. Leng Yuan's face was cold and she didn't respond at all. Seeing through the thoughts of the three girls, Lu Benlai spoke up. You don't need to look at her. We're all schoolmates, so it's fine for us to have a drink. Besides, I bought yours, so it's a waste if we don't drink it. After saying those words, he gestured to Shi Yao with his chin and said, Little Junior, you choose first. Shi Yao stared at the colorful bottles in Lu Benlai's hands and gulped down a mouthful of saliva. However, she didn't touch them and turned her gaze back to Leng Yuan. Under the gazes of her three roommates, Leng Yuan finally couldn't take it anymore and nodded her head coldly, indicating that they could do whatever they wanted. He Tian and Jiang Yu immediately rushed over and picked a bottle each. With a smile, they thanked Lu Benlai. Thank you, senior. You're welcome. Lu Benlai replied heartily as he took out a bottle of jasmine tea. Ignoring Leng Yuan's resistance, he forcefully stuffed it into her hands before passing the bag over to Shi Yao. There were 2 drinks in the bag. Not knowing which bottle she should choose, Shi Yao frowned for a very long time before she raised her head and asked weakly, Can I only choose one bottle? Chi. A soft laughter came from not far away. Then the person who laughed said with a faint smile, You can choose 2 bottles. Hearing that voice, Shi Yao was slightly taken aback. 2 seconds later, she turned her gaze toward the source of the voice. Unbeknownst to her, Lin Jiege had already put away his phone, and his deep pitch-black eyes were staring intently at her. Shi Yao's face reddened. She took half a step back and said softly, I'll just take the red tea. Lin Jiege didn't say anything else, but the image of her huffing and puffing after running a lap around the field surfaced in his mind. He wondered if those slender arms and legs of hers would be able to open a bottle cap. He paused on the spot for a moment before making his way over to Shi Yao. When he stood beside Lu Benlai, he happened to block the sunlight, casting a shadow over Shi Yao. Chapter 142. He stared at her for a moment before reaching out to grab a bottle from the bag. After twisting the cap open and tightening it, he tossed it into Shi Yao's arms and said, You can have my bottle. His voice was low and deep, and it sounded as if he was speaking leisurely into her ears. Shi Yao's head spun for a second, and by the time she came back to her senses, he had already turned around and left. A gentle spring breeze blew past, and by the time Shi Yao caught a glimpse of Lin Jiege's silhouette, his white tracksuit was puffed up by the wind, and a few strands of his hair were fluttering mischievously. Seeing that Lin Jiege had left, the boys also followed suit. Flamboyant Yellow Jacket was the last to leave, but before he left he didn't forget to ask Leng Yuan with a cheeky smile, Fellow student, are you really not going to consider giving me your phone number? Leng Yuan's face remained impassive, showing no signs of speaking at all. Flamboyant Yellow Jacket didn't get angry at all. The smile on his face shone brighter than the sun. It's fine, fellow student. One day you'll give me your phone number. Dark Blue Jacket had already walked a distance away when he heard Flamboyant Yellow Jacket's words. He turned around and urged, Can you hurry up? We're going to play basketball. Flamboyant Yellow Jacket waved at Leng Yuan and said, Sayonara, before running off. When the boys were finally out of sight, he Tian opened the bottle cap and exclaimed in delight, Wow, my Adonis is so cool. He's even opening a bottle cap for Yao Yao. I'd love to have a Adonis to open a bottle cap for me too. Jiang Yu nodded her head cooperatively. I'm starting to believe Yao Yao's confession last night. But speaking of which, Yao Yao, is there a hole in your head? Why would you give up on such a good fiancé and think of canceling the engagement? Is there something wrong with your head? He Tian, that's right. Yao Yao, this is a blessing that you've accumulated in your previous life. No, the previous life, the life before that, the life before that, the life before that. How can you not cherish it? What good friends and whatnot. Didn't he still choose to give up on her after meeting her Adonis? Shi Yao pouted as she lowered her head to sip on her black tea. Jiang Yu said, That's not the point. The point is, Yao Yao, can you be a little more mature? How did you do it just now? You said so seriously that you could only choose one bottle? He Tian, that's right. Yao Yao, don't you want to lose face? You've disgraced the whole dormitory. Shi Yao gulped down 3/5 of the black tea in a single breath before raising her head and replying in a very reasonable manner. It's not like you can eat face. Jiang Yu said, You're right. I can't even refute you. He told him, it's a good thing that he can't eat his face. If he could, Yao Yao would have eaten it all. Leng Nuan seemed to have come to a realization and she continued, if that's the case, no matter what, our dormitory room is destined to lose face. He Tian, classmate Leng Nuan, let's not talk about Yao Yao anymore. Bro, are you really not going to consider that phone number? I think he's not bad. He's better than your previous pursuers. Bro. Tian's nickname for her pursuers always makes me laugh. Toilet Bowl Man Mediterranean Sea. Jiang Yu said as she turned to Leng Nuan. Nuan, I also think that this phone number isn't bad. Shi Yao, who was too focused on drinking her tea, raised her hand that was holding the jasmine tea to express her agreement. Therefore, after the four of them left the noodle house, they temporarily separated. Just as she was about to reach the entrance of the academy, Shi Yao bumped into Qini Ran for the third time. She was still followed by a few rascally boys. They had probably just finished eating and were walking to the internet cafe opposite the school. But before they could get far, Qini Ran caught sight of Shi Yao. She turned to the tallest and darkest male student beside her and said a few words. Following which, the male students immediately turned their gazes toward Shi Yao, and one or two of them even whistled loudly. Ignoring them, Shi Yao quickly made her way to the entrance of the academy. However, just as she was about to reach the school gate, a few people stood in front of her and blocked her way. It was Qini Ran's group. Shi Yao changed her direction and the others followed suit. Chapter 144. No one paid any heed to her, but when she tried to move in another direction she was blocked once more. A frown formed on Shi Yao's forehead, but she still maintained her courtesy and said, fellow student, can you step aside? Someone let out a disdainful chuckle. Shi Yao could tell that it was Qini Ran's laughter, and the frown on her forehead deepened. Seeing that those people were surrounding her from all sides, she couldn't help but feel a little vexed and fearful. As a result, her tone turned a little hostile as well. Can you step aside? Those people still didn't say a word. However, the dark-skinned and muscular man standing right in front of Shi Yao was already moving toward her. Shi Yao pursed her lips. From the corner of her eyes, she noticed that the people on her left and right were moving as well, and she subconsciously took half a step back. It was only then that she realized that the people behind her were also moving toward her. When the person in front was only half a meter away from Shi Yao suddenly shouted, "Move aside." The dark-skinned and muscular man showed no signs of stopping at all, and he continued to inch closer and closer to Shi Yao. But just as he was about to press his entire body against Shi Yao's, a mineral water bottle suddenly flew over and struck his head. Accompanying his curses was an elegant and deep voice. "Are you deaf? Didn't you hear what she said? She told you to move aside." The moment those words were spoken, the young man standing in front of Shi Yao clutched the back of his head as he turned his head to look behind him. His movement had opened up Shi Yao's line of sight, allowing her to get a good look at the person standing in front of her. The tall and slender Lin Jiej had changed out of his sports attire for the afternoon physical education class and was now wearing a simple pair of jeans and a white shirt. He looked much more elegant and dignified than before. However, his expression didn't look too good. Deep hostility could be seen in his usually cold eyes. Seeing that the man in front of Shi Yao still hadn't moved away, he spoke up once more, and this time his tone was much more ferocious than before. "I'll say it one more time, move aside." The dark-skinned and muscular man standing in front of Shi Yao finally spoke up, and his tone was just as vicious as Lin Jiej's. "If I want to say it, I won't move aside." Before the man could finish his words, Lin Jiej had already sent him crashing to the ground with a punch. Shi Yao's body trembled in fright. In the next instant, Lin Jiej grabbed her wrist, and his tall and slender body stood in front of her, separating her from Qini Ran's group. "Faster, see." The man who had been pummeled to the ground by Lin Jiej stood up angrily. "Lin Jiej, don't you dare get cocky. Don't think that I'm afraid of you. Let me tell you, I have my eyes on that chick behind you. You, try staring at one of them." Just like before he could finish his words, Lin Jiej had already interjected. As Lin Jiej spoke, Shi Yao, who was standing behind him, could clearly feel a domineering aura emanating from him. It was a stark contrast to his usual calm and collected demeanor. "I'll protect her." His tone was very heavy, but there was an eerie chill in it that pressed forward. "If you're not afraid of death, feel free to touch her." Perhaps it was due to Lin Jie's overwhelming aura, but the tanned and muscular man didn't say a word at all. However, the gazes of the two men were unyielding as they stared at each other from a distance. The atmosphere grew a little tense. For some reason, Yao couldn't help but feel worried that they would end up fighting one another. Lin Jie was alone, so it was clear that he wouldn't be a match for them. Chapter 145. But if I can't win, I can still run. Why don't I just pull Lin Jie along and run? With this thought in mind, Yao grabbed Lin Jie's hand. Lin Jie's body trembled slightly in response to Yao's actions. "Just whose side is soft bun on? Are you sure you're not dragging me down by holding my hand?" Just as Yao was about to pull Lin Jie away with a tense expression, a voice suddenly sounded from behind. "What's wrong? What's wrong?" Yao turned around and saw that it was Flamboyant Yellow, who had asked for Leng Wan's phone number earlier in the afternoon. He was walking over with a pink milkshake in his hand. Behind Flamboyant Yellow was Dark Blue. He was also holding a milkshake in his hand, but it was light yellow in color. Based on her experience with milkshakes, there was an 80% chance that one of them was strawberry flavored while the other was pineapple flavored. When she got closer, Deep Blue bit her straw and asked, "What happened?" Flamboyant Yellow looked at the horrified Lin Jie before glancing at the group of people standing by the side. In the end, his gaze fell on Qin Ran. Then, as if coming to a realization, he turned to Lin Jie and said, "Boss, you should bring little Junior back to school first. Xia Shangzhou and I will deal with this matter here." Lin Jie stood on the spot. He lowered his gaze to look at the petite hand that was holding his hand, and after a moment of hesitation he nodded. Lu Benlai was right. It was best to bring Soft Bun away from here first. Otherwise, if a conflict were to arise, she might end up panting heavily after running a lap around the field. "Be careful." Lin Jie instructed Lu Benlai and Xia Shangzhou before turning to Yao and saying, "Let's go." The young lady didn't say a word. Her eyes were fixed on Lu Benlai. Lin Jie frowned in displeasure as he followed her line of sight. However, when he saw that she was staring at the milkshake in Lu Benlai's hand, his frown immediately eased. Then he cursed in his heart, "How useless," as he took the unopened milkshake in Lu Benlai's hand and said, "I'll be taking this." After saying those words, Lin Jie pressed the milkshake against Yao's face and said, "Let's go." Then he grabbed her hand and walked towards the school gate. "Lin Jie, stop right there. Did I say that you can leave?" The tanned and muscular man finally spoke up. "I'm telling him to leave. I'm the one who has the final say here." Xia Shangzhou stretched out his hand to stop the young man from following Lin Jie. The tanned man roared, "Who the F*** are you? How dare you call yourself lousy in front of me?" "Lu Benlai, it doesn't matter who he is. What's important is that he's your father and I'm your father's father." "Xia Shangzhou, screw you. Lu Benlai, I'm your father." After entering the school grounds, Lin Jie passed the milkshake to Yao and inserted the straw into it. Only then did Yao realize that she was still holding on to Lin Jie's hand. She blushed and quickly let go of his hand. Then she took 2 steps back and whispered, "Thank you." Lin Jie didn't say a word. Instead, he lowered his gaze to look at his hands. For some reason he couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. There was only one way to enter the school. The two of them walked forward in silence, a distance that was neither too far nor too close. Just as they were about to reach the canteen, a thought suddenly came to Yao's mind and she asked, "Will your two friends be fine? Should we inform the teachers?" All Yao wanted to do was take a glance, but in that instant her eyes were fixated on Lin Jie's slender and beautiful fingers. What a beautiful pair of hands with distinct joints and clean fingertips. How could there be such a person who looked good, had a good voice, a good background, a good height, a good figure, and even had good hands? There was simply no justice in this world. With this thought in mind, Yao retracted her gaze. But halfway through she stopped. That was because she noticed that the game Lin Jiege was playing on his phone was PlayerUnknown's Battleground. It can't be, he's actually playing the same game as me? Before Shi Yao could recover from her astonishment, a male student suddenly walked over and discreetly pushed a light blue envelope toward her. With a hushed voice he said, "Student Shi Yao, this is for you." Chapter 147. Lin Jiege had his earphones plugged in so he couldn't hear what the man was saying. However, from the corner of his eye he caught a glimpse of the light blue envelope. "There's a pink heart pasted on the envelope?" Lin Jiege didn't even need to think to know what it was. That was because he had received too many similar things since he was young. In fact, he had even received this envelope before. This is too much. To actually send a love letter to Soft Bun right in front of me. With this thought in mind, Lin Jiege discreetly removed one of his earphones and glared at the man who had delivered the letter to Shi Yao. The man continued staring at Shi Yao as if he didn't exist. "What the heck, are you treating me as if I don't exist? How dare you look at Soft Bun with such a lecherous gaze?" Suppressing the urge to gouge out the man's eyeballs, Lin Jiege absent-mindedly played his game while his gaze drifted back and forth between the man's body. He removed his earphones so he could hear the man's words clearly. "Shi Yao, you have to read it." "Oh? You're a man, what the heck is oh?" Lin Jiege had completely forgotten his earlier too much, and he cursed in disdain. "Also, Shi Yao, I hope that you can remember my name. My name is Qin Shou, the Qin from Qin Shi Huang and the Shou from birthday." Lin Jiege couldn't help but chuckle softly in his heart. "Qin from Qin Shi Huang and the Shou from birthday? Is there something wrong with that? You're talking about Qin Shi Huang and the Shou from birthday?" After saying those words, the young man cast a longing glance at Shi Yao for a moment longer before sneaking back to his seat and sitting down. Lin Jiege, who had been shot in the head due to his distraction, exited the game, put down his phone, and looked at the man who had delivered the love letter to Shi Yao once more. He realized that the man wasn't reading his book and he was bashfully sneaking glances at Shi Yao. What's wrong with this world? It's bad enough for a woman to be a mistress, so why do men like to be mistresses as well? And it's one thing for this man to be a mistress, but he's acting so brazenly and brazenly. It seems like I'm the one who's ignorant. Men are much scarier than women when they're despicable. A frown appeared on Lin Jiege's forehead as he shifted his gaze from the male student named Animal to Shi Yao. The girl placed the love letter on the side of the table without opening it. She didn't seem to be surprised by the scene just now. She lowered her head without any reaction and continued to do her paper. It seemed like Soft Bun wasn't interested in that brutish beast, or else she wouldn't have been so calm. But why is that beast still looking at Soft Bun? The library was a sacred place and it was used to study, not to look at girls. The school's governance was really bad. Why didn't anyone come to manage it? Lin Jiege was growing more and more restless under the man's gaze. Eventually, when his gaze finally fell onto Shi Yao's paper, a thought suddenly flashed across his mind. He inched closer to Shi Yao and glanced at her mathematics paper. After which he pointed at her paper and said, "You did this question wrong." Shi Yao was so focused on her question that she didn't notice Lin Jiege's movements at all. It was only when he spoke that she realized that he was standing very close to her. What was he doing? Shi Yao looked at Lin Jiege doubtfully. Ignoring Shi Yao's gaze, Lin Jiege feigned an intimate look as he pointed at her paper and said something that wasn't so intimate. "You did this question wrong too, and you did this question wrong too. It's such a simple question, how did you get it wrong?" Chapter 148. Did I make so many mistakes? Shi Yao bit on the shaft of her pen as she stared at the questions Lin Jiege said she had gotten wrong with a frown. "This question is wrong too, and there's also this one." Lin Jiege muttered non-stop as he browsed through the paper. "This mathematics paper of yours is as good as wasted. I've never seen anyone who has made more mistakes than correct in a mathematics paper. If you were to be placed in an examination hall, you'd probably flunk the entire exam, wouldn't you? What do you mean by as good as a waste of time?" Shi Yao's lips twitched. She really wanted to raise her hand to cover the paper to prevent Lin Jiege from looking at it. If she were good at math, she wouldn't have needed to do this. It was precisely because she was afraid of failing that she had to go to the library to do it. Can't be, right? How could you get this question wrong? I've known it since elementary school, but you still can't do it? Lin Jia's attention was still fixated on Shi Yao's paper, so he didn't notice her displeasure at all. Looking at the paper, he shook his head and said, "Soft bun, your math is really bad. It just so happens that I have nothing to do at the moment, so I'll reluctantly tutor you. If you say that I'm wrong, then so be it. Why are you using me to belittle me? Also, what the heck is soft bun? Are you referring to me? How do I resemble soft bun? That's a personal attack, all right? And lastly, what does reluctantly mean? She has the correct answer, it's just that she hasn't finished it yet, so she hasn't verified it yet. Besides, it's not like I asked him to tutor me. He's the one who came up to me." With such thoughts in mind, Shi Yao glared at Lin Jie in displeasure. Noticing her displeased gaze, Lin Jie turned to look at the beast. From the perspective of the beast, he could only see Lin Jie's expression, not Shi Yao's. Thus, his lips curled up in a seemingly doting manner, but in truth he was saying to Shi Yao, "Don't worry, I won't charge you for tutoring me." How can there be someone who can be so shameless? Without any hesitation, Shi Yao rejected Lin Jie. "There's no need for it. I already have the answer. It's okay, it's really free. Besides, with your math level, I'm afraid you won't be able to understand how the answer was solved, right?" As Lin Jie spoke, he snatched the pen from Shi Yao's hand and began redoing the questions that Shi Yao had gotten wrong on the paper. Honestly speaking, Lin Jie's explanation was much easier to understand than the answers on the test paper. Initially, Shi Yao was still holding a grudge against Zhang Xian's suggestion, but after listening to his explanation, she recalled that her mathematics results were already teetering on the brink of collapse. In the end, she still decided to compromise with him. A wise man submits to circumstances. While she was explaining the questions, Shi Yao's attention was completely focused on the paper. On the other hand, Lin Jie was constantly making small movements. He would either lean in closer to Shi Yao's face, wrap his arm around her shoulder, and use his other hand to tap on the paper, or rest his arm on the back of the chair behind Shi Yao. His series of actions seemed intimate and intimate. In the eyes of the spectators, they looked no different from a couple in the throes of passion. Just as he was about to finish explaining the questions, Lin Jie saw the downcast and sorrowful look on the face of the beast, who had just sent Shi Yao a love letter. His mood immediately lightened up, and he raised his pen generously and wrote a few more questions on the back of the paper. "Since you've understood the questions earlier, why don't you try answering these questions now?" Before Shi Yao could say anything, Lin Jie had already continued. "I don't need you to treat me to a drink, but you can treat me if you want. I'll pay for it." Saying so, Lin Jie took out his phone, tapped into the food delivery service and passed it over to Shi Yao. "What would you like to drink? Who wants to buy you a drink? Could one not be so self-righteous?" Shi Yao muttered in her heart. Then she looked at the colorful milk tea that Lin Jie passed over and hesitated for a moment before she finally pointed to a milky green one. Yao nodded. Yao Lin Jie instead. Yao nodded. Zhang Yao Xiao Gu Lu Yao Li Lu and replied. Lu Lin Lu Jili nodded. "I'm sorry, but the person you're looking for has already arrived on Mars." Lin Jie calmly typed in 4 words. Golden resplendence. Lu Benlai swiftly replied. "All right, boss. Please wait a moment. I'll deliver the item you want as soon as possible using SF Express." Chapter 150. Lin Jie didn't reply to Lu Benlai's message. Instead, he put away his phone and returned to silence. Just as Shi Yao was about to finish the question, Lin Jie's delivery arrived. Lu Benlai also arrived at the same time. Lin Jie left the library for a while, and when he returned he was carrying a large bag in his hands. He placed the bag in front of Shi Yao, took a cup of milk tea and inserted a straw into it for her. After which he took a look at the question she had just done. Shi Yao glanced at the milk tea placed in front of her and counted silently. There were a total of 8 cups. There were only the 2 of them here, so why did he buy 8 cups? Before Shi Yao could ask anything, Lin Jie had already pointed out the mistake in her earlier question. While he was going through the question again, every time Shi Yao finished a cup of milk tea, Lin Jierge would bring her a new one. When Shi Yao finished her third cup, she finally spoke the words that Lin Jierge had been waiting for. I need to go to the washroom. Lin Jierge stared at the question paper with a serious look on his face as he replied with an "un." After Shi Yao left the library, Lin Jierge put down the question paper and scanned his surroundings. The beast who delivered the love letter had already left the library in a fit of anger, and the other students were either busy with their questions or chatting with one another. No one was paying him any attention. Lin Jierge made use of this opportunity to pick up that eyesore of a love letter, opened it and took out the pink letter within. He stuffed it into his pocket haphazardly before putting back the paper that he had asked Lu Benlai to print for him. After which he returned the letter back to its original position. By the time they left the library, it was already 10:30 p.m. Lin Jierge sent Shi Yao to the female dormitory and passed the 5 cups of milk tea that Shi Yao hadn't finished yet to her. After Shi Yao entered the female dormitory, Lin Jierge turned around and headed for the male dormitory. When he passed by a bright street lamp, he paused and took out the pink letter from his pocket. Using the light from the lamp, he took a look at the content written on it. Shi Yao, some people say that falling in love with a city is because there's a certain person living in it. I believe that the reason why I fell in love with G University is because you're in G University. I don't know when I fell in love with you, but I know that loving you is the most beautiful thing that I've ever done in my life. No words can express my feelings for you. My only wish is to spend the rest of my life with you. Qin Shou's name. Phone call. A man actually wrote such a mushy love letter. Lin Jierge had no idea what he was so angry about, but after reading the love letter he tore it into pieces and threw it into the trash can. Back in the dormitory, Xia Shangzhou was standing guard by Lu Benlai's side. Lu Benlai was leaning over the table with a pen in hand, and the two of them seemed to be discussing something. The first person Xia Shangzhou saw was Lin Jierge. "Boss, you're back." Without saying a word, Lin Jierge walked up to the water dispenser and poured himself a cup of water. Hearing Xia Shangzhou's words, Lu Benlai raised his head to look at Lin Jierge and said, "Boss, I've made up my mind. I'm going to write a love letter to Leng Wan. Do you want to help me out?" Lin Jierge was just about to reply with a "I'm not interested" when a thought suddenly struck him. Roughly 3 seconds later, he slowly walked over to Lu Benlai with a cup of water in hand. He lowered his head to take a look at the love letter Lu Benlai had written, and a disdainful frown appeared on his face. After which he said, "There's a saying that when you fall in love with a city, it's because there's someone living in it." Chapter 151. I think the reason why I fell in love with G University is because of you. Xia Shangzhou and Lu Benlai were stunned for a moment before turning their heads to look at Lin Jierge. After about 3 seconds, Xia Shangzhou said, "F***Siki, did I hear that right? Was it really boss who spoke just now?" Lu Benlai picked his ears and said, "Yes, you didn't hear wrongly. It was really our boss speaking just now, and his words are even better than those confessions you came up with. Fram. I don't have the time to bother with a grandson like you right now. My entire mind is on boss right now," Xia Shangzhou said as he circled around Lin Jierge. "Boss, you aren't from the mathematics faculty, right? You're from the Chinese department, right? Was that love letter really that good? Why were these two worshipping him so much?" An inexplicable displeasure welled up in Lin Jierge's chest. With an impatient look on his face he asked, "Do you still want to continue? If you don't want me to go." "Yes, yes, yes." Lu Benlai pressed his palms together and pleaded, "Boss, I'll entrust my lifelong happiness to you. I'm not going to Majestic Clubhouse. No, not only am I not going, but I'll treat you tomorrow night. I'll treat you to Mala Tang." After saying those words, Lu Benlai smiled apologetically and said, "Boss, can you be more understanding? I've already spent this month's allowance on clothes. Next month I'll make up for my hot pot. Tomorrow I'll make up for the mala soup." Before Lu Benlai could finish his words, Lin Jierge's lips moved once more. "I don't even know when I fell in love with you. Wait a moment." Lu Benlai suddenly thought of something and interrupted Lin Jierge's words. He quickly whipped out his phone and turned on the recording function. Boss, say it again." "I'll record it." Fearing that Lin Jierge wouldn't agree to it, Lu Benlai didn't forget to flatter him. "Boss, I'm different from you. You have a photographic memory and you're able to memorize everything you see. I can't do that. It goes in one ear and comes out the other. Even though Lin Jiege had a how troublesome look on his face, he still repeated what he had said earlier. Some people say that you fall in love with a city because someone lives in it. I think the reason why I fell in love with G University is because G University has you. I don't know when I fell in love with you, but I do know that loving you is the best thing I've ever done in my life. Thousands of words can't express my feelings for you. I only wish to be with you in this life. In this life I will be with you, Lingwan. These words are practically made for me and Lingwan. Lu Benlai muttered those words, and in the next second he exclaimed in gratitude. Boss, if you were in ancient times, you would be one of the 4 great scholars of the capital. His talent was superb. He disdained to write such a sour thing. Lin Jiege shot a sidelong glance at Lu Benlai and said, I didn't write it. I picked it up by accident. I didn't flatter the right person? Boss didn't write it? But a short second later Lu Benlai spoke up once more. Boss, you're really incredible. You actually managed to pick up such a good love letter while walking on the streets. I've already betrothed myself to Leng Wan in this life. If you don't mind, let's meet in our next life. With a look of disdain on his face, Lin Jiege tossed out a you're not complimenting me, you're burning the bridge after crossing it, before walking over to his table, pulling out a chair and sitting down. Boss, I still choose you to be calculative with me about Peppa Pig. Lin Jiege frowned, but seeing that Xia Shangzhou wasn't showing any signs of compromising, he could only say, I guarantee that this isn't a deathly question. Xia Shangzhou, are you sure? Lin Jiege nodded patiently. Only then did Xia Shangzhou reply, he's pretty cocky. Halfway through his reply, Xia Shangzhou sneaked a glance at Lin Jiege, and seeing that the latter's expression was normal, he finally relaxed. Thus he added, and doesn't like to talk to others. Lin Jiege, other than being cocky and ignoring others, I'm also very arrogant? Thinking that Lin Jiege wouldn't get angry, Xia Shangzhou replied sincerely, that's right, you're super arrogant. Lin Jiege, do I look like everyone owes me 200 renminbi? Without any hesitation Xia Shangzhou replied, it's not just 200 renminbi, it's more like 2,000 renminbi. Chapter 153. On the other hand, Lin Jiege's expression immediately turned cold. Since you think that I look like you owe me 2,000 RMB, transfer me 2,000 RMB through WeChat right now. After saying those words, Lin Jiege angrily lay back on the bed and pulled the blanket over himself. Xia Shangzhou, who was standing next to him, widened his eyes in shock. Didn't we agree that it wasn't going to be a suicide question? How did it become a money-giving question? However, money was his life. After going around in circles, it was still a dead end. Before Xia Shangzhou could digest this blow, Lin Jiege had already lifted his blanket and straightened his body before adding, if it had been any other time I would have been able to get over it with 2,000 RMB, but it's 4,000 RMB today. You should know the reason. Lin Jiege paused for a moment before replying nonchalantly. Peppa Pig. Xia Shangzhou nearly fell to his knees. Didn't they agree that as long as he answered the questions truthfully, the incident with Peppa Pig would be written off? Why did he want to settle the score now? Was he too young, or was boss too shameless? It wasn't easy for Xia Shangzhou to recover from Lin Jiege's blow. He took a shower and climbed onto his bed. Just as he was about to mourn the loss of the 4,000 RMB that he was about to lose, Lin Jiege, who had been lying motionlessly on the bed for a long time, suddenly flung his blanket aside and sat up. Xia Shangzhou, I'm serious. Do I really look as arrogant as I usually do? Doesn't like to talk to people? Arrogant? It's like everyone owes me 200 yuan. Xia Shangzhou shook his head vehemently. No. Boss, you're the most approachable person in the world. You're always smiling at everyone you meet, and you're especially popular with people. As for your arrogance, that has nothing to do with you at all. You're the most down-to-earth person in the world. Also, you're acting as if everyone owes you 200 renminbi. What kind of nonsense is that? There's definitely something wrong with you. Boss, you might be the idol in the eyes of men, but in the eyes of women, you're the existence that the academy owes me. Lin Jiege, who said he was talking nonsense? Who said there was something wrong with him? What kind of joke was this? Was Soft Bun someone whom anyone could casually slander? Hearing those words, Lin Jie's expression immediately darkened. Gritting his teeth, he spat out a single word, 8,000 yuan, before lying down and pulling the blanket over himself once more. Before Shi Yao could return to her dormitory room, the news of Lin Jie going to the library with her had already spread like wildfire. As a result, she was immediately surrounded by He Tian, Jiang Yu, and Leng Nuan as soon as she entered the dormitory room. She honestly recounted how she was surrounded by Qin Yiran's group from start to end, and she even shared a cup of the milk tea that Lin Jie had bought with each of them. Only then did they finally let her off. After taking a bath, Shi Yao was sitting in front of the table applying her skincare products when she caught a glimpse of the love letter that Qin Shou had given her. In fact, she had received a lot of similar love letters, but she was still quite curious about what was written inside. So after applying the skincare products, she picked up the love letter, opened it, and pulled out a piece of paper. But this Qin Shou was quite novel. He actually used the most ordinary A4 paper to write a love letter. Even the content was printed. Could it be that this person's handwriting was very ugly? With such thoughts in mind, Shi Yao looked at the words on the A4 paper. He forcefully tore his clothes apart and covered his lips with his own. Shi Yao widened her eyes in shock. He barged into his body. He forced his hands to touch him. Reading to the end, Shi Yao finally realized what was going on, and her face immediately flushed crimson. How was this Qin Shou writing a love letter to her? It was clearly an erotic novel. It was one thing for it to be an erotic novel, but to think that it was even a scene of two men sleeping together. Expert of the monkeys. In my heart, sis Yao, you're invincible. Yao loves ice cream. I'm not joking with you. I'm being serious. Let me tell you something. A few days ago when I was playing the game, I even saved a person. No, I didn't just save a person. I even saved your boss 10 times. 10 times. This is something that I wouldn't have dared to imagine before. Expert of the monkeys. Wow, is it really that good? Yao loves ice cream. That's right. Not only did I save someone, I even killed someone. Chapter 155. Shi Yao felt a little smug from the compliment, and she couldn't help but boast. I killed 10 people. Expert of the monkeys. Sis Yao is going to become a PUBG? Right after Expert said those words, the 4 of them coincidentally landed on the ground. Yes, that's right. As Shi Yao spoke, she controlled her avatar to run into a room. She noticed that someone had entered the room with her, but while she had entered through the door, that person had leaped into the room from the window. I'm going to become the future sniper goddess soon. She continued her words as she bent down to pick up the loot. But before she could finish her words, a very soft chuckle sounded in her ears. Following which, the chuckle continued. When did the future sniper goddess become so weak that she can barely kill a person with 100 bullets just by standing still? Shi Yao was stunned for a second before she realized that it was 111,111 who had spoken. Will it kill me to keep quiet? Just as Shi Yao was retorting in her mind, a person suddenly jumped in front of her. She shuddered in fright, and when she took a closer look, she realized that it was 111,111. So, the person who had leaped into the room earlier was Mr. Numbers? However, Shi Yao didn't spend too much time basking in 111,111's dashing movements. She quickly spoke up. Alright, even if I'm not as amazing as you said, I'm still much better than before. I think I've improved a little. At the very least, Shi Yao was about to say that she could reach her current rank. But just as the words were about to come out of her mouth, she recalled how she had reached the immortal star diamond rank along with the other 3. Thus, she changed her words. At the very least, I'm at the gold rank of valor. Juice, that's not all. Sis Yao, you're at least platinum rank at the very least. Expert of the monkeys. Grandson, do you know how to speak properly? Sis Yao's rank is at the glorious emperor. Heh. Before Expert could finish his words, 111,111 had already mocked him. Gold rank of valor? Do you have some kind of misunderstanding about the gold rank? At the very most, you're only at the hot-blooded bronze rank. Hot-blooded bronze is the lowest rank. This was too much. Even if she could not reach the gold rank, she should be able to reach the silver rank, right? Furious, Shi Yao was just about to retort when 111,111's voice sounded in her earpiece once more. Oh, I forgot to mention something. Not only are you hot-blooded bronze at best, you're also a walking robot. Androids were robots that spawned from time to time in the game. In short, they were the ones that delivered equipment. A walking robot. Does that mean that she doesn't know anything other than walking in the game? No wonder he had never had a girlfriend and was still an old virgin. No one could save a person like him who relied on his own ability to stay single. I'm not that bad. I know how to pick up equipment, heal myself, save people, outrun the blue circle, and drive. I'm much better than a robot. In any case, I'm definitely not a hot-blooded bronze player. 111111. Yes. You are not a hot-blooded bronze rank. You are a stubborn hot-blooded bronze rank. Chapter 156. What's the difference between a stubborn hot-blooded bronze and a hot-blooded bronze? Shi Yao suddenly felt the urge to smash her phone. Expert of the monkeys. Boss, you're going too far. Juice. That's right. Boss, you really don't know how to speak properly. Expert of the monkeys. Sis Yao, let's ignore boss and chase after the airdrop. Surprisingly, didn't refute expert and Juice's words at all. Shi Yao was surprised for a moment before following expert on a motorcycle to chase after the airdrop. Other than the fact that 111,111's mouth was incomprehensibly venomous, his skill in the game was so cool that it made others kneel down and call him daddy. Compared to the 2 days when he wasn't in the best condition, he seemed to be on steroids today, leading them to the chicken dinner with 10 kills each. When it was nearing midnight, Xia Shangzhou's smoking craving finally kicked in. Since Lin Jiege didn't smoke, he forced him to smoke outdoors. Thus he said, "Wait a moment, I'll go for a smoke." After which the group temporarily logged out of the game. Xia Shangzhou grabbed a cigarette and headed to the balcony. Right after he lit up his cigarette, before he could even take a puff, he noticed that there were many people gathered on the balcony looking down. As he stuffed the cigarette into his mouth, he peeked his head downstairs and he couldn't help but exclaim, "Holy shit." Then he turned around and called out to the people in the room, "Quick, take a look. It's a spectacular sight." Lu Benlai was the first to rush over. He took a look downstairs and the same "holy shit" escaped his mouth. Is he confessing to someone? Who is he confessing to? Xia Shangzhou, I don't know. Let's take a look first. Lu Benlai turned to Lin Jiege, who was sitting elegantly in the dormitory room, and said, "Boss, aren't you going to take a look? This will surely go down in the history of G University. Such a gorgeous confession scene is definitely worth learning. I'll have to take a good look so that I can use it to confess to my future girlfriend." Lin Jiege replied nonchalantly, and his eyes were filled with indifference. With his full attention focused on Xia Shangzhou, he asked, "Brother downstairs, who are you? Your singing isn't too bad." The windows of the balcony were open, and Lin Jiege could vaguely hear singing drifting into the room. "I'm still waiting in this life. I can only be serious once in a lifetime. After confirming my gaze, I've met the right person." There were too many students watching this scene. When the boys downstairs reached the climax of their singing, there were countless whistles and shouts. Even Lu Benlai and Xia Shangzhou joined in on the commotion. So noisy. Frowning, Lin Jiege stood up and walked toward the balcony. He glanced downstairs indifferently. Amidst the roses and candles, a boy was holding a guitar, sitting on a chair playing and singing. It's really boring. Is there a need to confess and cause a commotion in the school? People nowadays don't know how to keep a low profile anymore. With this thought in mind, Lin Jiege retracted his gaze, straightened his back and prepared to return to his dormitory room. However, before he could lift his foot, the singing stopped downstairs. The boy suddenly said, "It's now midnight, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. To everyone else this might be an ordinary day, but to me, today is the birthday of the most important person in my life. Happy birthday, Shi Yao." As if someone had sealed Lin Jiege's acupoints, he suddenly froze. Chapter 157. After saying those words, the man downstairs strummed his guitar and started singing the birthday song. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. After the man sang 2 lines, Xia Shangzhou finally snapped out of his daze. Shi Yao? Did I hear wrongly? Lu Benlai also replied in a daze. I heard Shi Yao too. Little Junior's name. Xia Shangzhou peeked his head out to admire the scenery below as he praised. Little Junior sure has a lot of peach blossoms. Lu Benlai was just about to say something when he suddenly thought of something and quickly shut his mouth. He turned to look at Lin Jiege. The young man didn't look any different from usual. The night breeze blew past, ruffling his hair a little, revealing his plump forehead. However, there was a hint of gloominess between his handsome brows. It was fortunate that he was quick-witted enough to keep his mouth shut. Otherwise he wouldn't even know how he died. While Lu Benlai was rejoicing, Xia Shangzhou, oblivious to the danger, suddenly spoke up once more. Hm? Little Junior's peach blossoms aren't too bad. They look pretty good. Lu Benlai could clearly see Lin Jiege's expression darken. In consideration of their brotherly bond, he discreetly kicked Xia Shangzhou. Free. Lu Benlai, why did you kick me? Xia Shangzhou kicked Lu Benlai back as he continued commenting. Someone said that his name is Han Jing. I've heard of that name before. He's from the arts faculty and he even won an award for his performance last year. It's no wonder he's so good at singing. Is there something wrong with this grandson's head? He's giving me such an obvious hint and he's actually scolding me? Noticing that the air around Lin Jiege had turned cold, Lu Benlai immediately prepared to sneak back to the dormitory room to protect himself. Tisk, what's there to look at? How vulgar. That's not what you said earlier. You clearly said that it's worth it. Xia Shangzhou said as he turned to Lu Benlai. But instead of Lu Benlai, who had already darted back to the dormitory room, he saw Lin Jiege, who was exuding a dangerous aura. Xia Shangzhou immediately shut his mouth. 2 seconds later he finally realized what was going on, and he quickly changed his words while sneaking back to the dormitory room. That's right. What's there to look at? You're ruining the school's reputation. A second after stepping into the dormitory room, Xia Shangzhou was already grumbling at Lu Benlai. Why the hell didn't you warn me earlier? Lu Benlai, are you blind? Didn't I warn you already? Was that a reminder? You're kicking me. Damn, my comprehension ability is really bad. While the two of them were busy bickering with one another, Lin Jiege, who was standing on the balcony, entered the dormitory room. The two of them immediately shut their mouths. Under their gazes, Lin Jiege walked over to his desk, sat down, switched on his laptop and began working on his project. Lu Benlai, something's wrong with our boss. He's actually working on a project in the middle of the night. Xia Shangzhou, what do we do? I don't think we'll live through the night. The door to the balcony wasn't closed, so it didn't take long for Han Jing to finish singing. After which he began speaking once more. Shi Yao, happy birthday. Shi Yao, I like you. Countless jeers rose one after another. Shi Yao, I like you. Happy birthday, Shi Yao. As Han Jing's voice grew louder and louder, the atmosphere in the men's dormitory 501 became more and more gloomy. Chapter 158. They could clearly sense that Lin Jiege's tapping on the keyboard was growing louder and louder. Just as Xia Shangzhou and Lu Benlai's hearts were about to stop from Lin Jiege's tapping, Lin Jiege suddenly stopped and turned to look at Xia Shangzhou. What did you say just now? Xia Shangzhou's legs turned to jelly and he nearly fell from his chair. Boss, I didn't say anything. You said that little Junior has too many peach blossoms? Other than a slight chill in his voice, there wasn't the slightest hint of emotion in it. Xia Shangzhou suddenly felt a chill run down his spine, and he shook his head vehemently. Boss, you must have heard wrongly. I really didn't say anything. Boss, I'll give you 8,000 renminbi, no 16,000 renminbi. Lin Jiege's face remained impassive. He stared at Xia Shangzhou for a moment before saying, she has many peach blossoms, but I'll pluck every single one of them that I see. Even if she creates an entire peach blossom island, I'll still be able to raze it to the ground. As he spoke, Lin Jiege picked up his phone and began typing on the screen. By the time Lin Jiege put down his phone, the commotion outside had grown even louder. Xia Shangzhou, who was drenched in cold sweat by Lin Jiege's words, dashed to the balcony. It's so noisy. I'll go and close the door. Barely after he reached the balcony, Han Jing's heart-wrenching confession suddenly came to a halt. Curious, he walked over to the balcony and looked down. Then he exclaimed in astonishment, "Boss, Little Junior is here." "What?" Lu Benlai rushed over to the balcony and looked down as well. A moment later he turned to Lin Jiege and said, "Boss, Little Junior is really here." Lin Jiege hesitated for 2 seconds before standing up and walking over to the balcony once more. Right after he stood up, Han Jing suddenly spoke up, "Happy birthday, Shi Yao. My first confession might have failed, but I don't want to give up just like that. Shi Yao, I really like you a lot. Can you seriously consider me for a moment?" Someone in the crowd suddenly shouted, "I'm willing." Shi Yao didn't say a word. Perhaps feeling embarrassed, she tugged on Han Jing's sleeves, intending to pull him away. Han Jing stood motionlessly on the spot, staring at Shi Yao intently as he spoke once more. "Shi Yao, I know that the rumors on the forum are fake, and I also know that you're single at the moment. So, I really hope that you can consider me seriously. Shi Yao, I like you. Are you willing to be my girlfriend?" Unable to bring Han Jing away, Shi Yao stood helplessly on the spot, not saying a word at all. The onlookers waited for a while and then someone shouted, "Say yes." Then more and more people followed suit. "Say yes to him. Say yes. Say yes." Amidst the deafening and rhythmic cheers, Lin Jiege turned around and returned to his dormitory room. Lu Benlai and Xia Shangzhou glanced at one another, and just as they were about to return to the dormitory room, Lin Jiege appeared on the balcony once more. Before the two of them could react, Lin Jiege suddenly raised his hand, and a basin of water fell from the sky without any warning. It accurately splashed onto Han Jing and Shi Yao, extinguishing more than half of the candles that were swaying in the wind. "The heck, what's going on? Who is it? How could they be so immoral?" Amidst the grumbling of the crowd, a police car arrived with its siren blaring. What's going on? Why is there a police car here? I don't know. Who's the culprit?" Amidst the grumbling turned into bewilderment, a man dressed in a police uniform walked up to Han Jing. As Han Jing had a microphone, the police officer's words were clearly heard by everyone around him. "Do you know what time it is? Someone has complained that you're a nuisance." Chapter 159. As Han Jing had a microphone, the police officer's words were clearly heard by everyone. "Do you know what time it is? Someone has complained that you're a nuisance. And those candles, hurry up and extinguish them. Don't you know that they're a potential fire hazard? Remember to sweep the roses on the floor as well. This is only a warning, but if there's a next time, we'll detain you right away. But even if it's just a warning, you'll still have to follow us to the administrative office to do a self-reflection." What the heck? Who's so shameless as to call the police? What a pity. I was just about to reach the climax of such a romantic confession when someone suddenly cut it off. "I'm afraid that I won't be able to sleep tonight." That's right, what a killjoy. "I've already taken off my pants, but this is what you show me. Either you stop teasing me or you take responsibility for it till the end. It's no different from being stopped in the middle of XXO. You'll get prostatitis, alright?" Amidst the regretful and resentful voices of the crowd, Shi Yao was escorted away by the police officers. Since the female lead had already left, there was nothing much to see anymore. Thus, the surrounding crowd also returned to their dormitories. Not too long later, the crowd that had gathered on the balconies of the two dormitories disappeared without a trace. Lin Jiege was the only one who remained standing on the balcony, looking down at the scene below without shifting his gaze away. Under the watchful eyes of the police, Han Jing extinguished the candles one by one and swept up the delicate rose petals on the floor with a mop. Occasionally, a gust of wind would blow, sweeping the petals into the air. It was an indescribably desolate sight. Looking at Lin Jiege, who still hadn't returned to his room, Xia Shangzhou couldn't help but sidle up to Lu Benlai and grumble, "What's wrong with our boss? Little Junior has already left, so there's nothing much left to see. Why is he still standing there?" Lu Benlai shot Xia Shangzhou a look as if he was looking at a retard. "You don't understand, do you? This is called appreciating the fruits of victory." Xia Shangzhou was stunned for a moment before he replied in bewilderment, "Ah?" Roughly 3 seconds later he came to a realization. In the end, our boss was the one who called the police? "Lu Benlai, what do you think?" Otherwise, who would do such shameless revenge? Xia Shangzhou, that's true. There's no one else but boss. But we're glad that boss did this. This way boss's mood will probably improve. Otherwise, the two of us would be the ones suffering. Lu Benlai nodded in agreement, but before he could say anything, Lin Jierge had already walked into the room from the balcony, closing the balcony door behind him. Lu Benlai hurriedly changed the words that were already at the tip of his tongue into boss. He was just about to use some flowery words to fawn over Lin Jierge when he suddenly noticed that there was something amiss with Lin Jierge's expression. He instinctively shut his mouth. Noticing Lu Benlai's abnormality, Xia Shangzhou shot a glance at Lin Jierge warily. As if the two of them didn't exist, Lin Jierge picked up the basin and walked into the bathroom. He casually tossed the basin aside and washed his hands before returning to his laptop to continue working on his project. While Lin Jierge was typing away on his keyboard, Lu Benlai and Xia Shangzhou stared at one another for a moment before whispering to one another. There seems to be something wrong with this plot. Shouldn't our boss be happy that he messed up someone else's confession to Little Junior? Why is he still so scary? Chapter 160. How would I know? I'm not a parasite in boss's stomach. I'm really envious of that grandson Song Chaoshi. He should have married off earlier and moved out. I should hurry up and catch up to your grandma so that I can escape from boss's demonic clutches. Scram. You're my grandson. Grandson, how can you speak to your grandfather like that? The two of them bickered for a while before realizing that they had gone off topic, so they hurriedly returned to the main topic. If boss continues to be so subdued, we're going to be in deep trouble tonight. Hurry up and think of a way to ease the atmosphere. You should think about it too. Don't just rush me. The two of them continued arguing for a long time before Xia Shangzhou cleared his throat and said, Boss, it's Little Junior's birthday today. Aren't you going to prepare a present for her? Lin Jierge paid no heed to Lu Benlai's words. He didn't stop typing on the keyboard, but his profile had clearly turned colder as he looked at the screen. Lu Benlai coughed twice before mustering his courage to play along with Xia Shangzhou. Of course I'll give her a present. However, boss, have you thought of a present for Little Junior? Lin Jierge seemed to be completely immersed in his project. Other than the occasional frown on his forehead when he was deep in thought, he didn't react at all. Isn't that obvious? Girls are bound to like bags, clothes and cosmetics. As Xia Shangzhou spoke, he stole a glance at Lin Jierge, and he noticed that the latter's typing on the keyboard was showing signs of slowing down. It was only then that he turned to Lu Benlai and raised his voice. In any case, it's only a matter of time before you buy the most expensive one. Receiving Xia Shangzhou's signal, Lu Benlai hurriedly chimed in, How vulgar. The value of a present isn't determined by its price but sincerity. If the other party doesn't like it, no matter how expensive it is, it's useless. If the other party likes it, even if it's only worth a yuan, it's still priceless. Lin Jierge, who was in the midst of working on his project, suddenly stood up, kicked the chair behind him and walked to the balcony. Lu Benlai fell silent. He and Xia Shangzhou stared at one another for a moment before shaking their heads, indicating that they were even more confused than before. Compared to the time when Han Jing had confessed, the dormitory was now extremely quiet. Lin Jierge enjoyed the night breeze for a while longer, but he still felt a stifling sensation in his chest. He knew very well that this discomfort was not caused by Han Jing but by himself. Today was Soft Bun's birthday. But before Han Jing's public confession, he knew nothing about it, let alone a birthday present. Wu Ben was right. Gifts didn't matter how expensive or cheap they were. What mattered was sincerity and whether the other party liked them or not. But other than remembering passion fruit, loquat, watermelon, pineapple, pomegranate and potato chips, roast duck, milk tea, ice cream, vanilla, in his notebook he didn't know what she liked. So even if he wanted to prepare a birthday present now, he didn't know where to start. With such thoughts in mind, Lin Jierge heaved a long sigh of frustration. He took out his phone, typed in a few words and searched. What should I give a girl on her birthday? The answers were varied. Were netizens so unreliable nowadays? While Lin Jierge harumphed in disdain, He sought out the one and only young woman in his life to seek advice from. Chapter 161. Lin Jiege tapped into Lin Jiao's WeChat and casually typed a ? Then he tapped on the send button. Lin Jiao's reply was swift, and it was the same as what he had sent. ? Lin Jiege paused for a moment before typing. Sis, if it's your birthday, what kind of present would you like to receive the most? Lin Jiao still replied almost instantaneously. Her reply was concise and direct, just like her personality. Money. Lin Jiege suddenly felt as if he had asked the wrong person for advice. What else would you like other than money? Lin Jiao replied almost instantaneously, but this time, it wasn't in Chinese but in English. Money. Is there a difference between money and money? Lin Jiege really suspected that he had asked the wrong person for advice. Too lazy to type, he sent a voice message over impatiently. Sis, I'm serious. Other than money and money, what kind of present would you like to receive the most? Just like Lin Jiege, Lin Jiao's reply was also a voice message. In her elegant voice, there was a hint of impatience that was even greater than Lin Jiege's. USD, Euro, Japanese yen, British pounds. If that's not possible, gold would do too. There was no need to doubt her anymore. He had asked the wrong person for advice. Lin Jiege didn't reply to Lin Jiao's WeChat anymore. However, Lin Jiao was still sending him endless messages. When the notification finally stopped, Lin Jiege took a glance at it. Yen is fine too. Dollar's the best. It's more convenient for me to spend money in America. British pounds. I guess I can still accept it. But I still think that cash is too troublesome. It's best if you transfer me a bank card. If you find foreign currency too troublesome, I can accept Alipay and WeChat transfers too. You should know my account number. After confirming it with his eyes, his sis was even more unreliable than his netizens. He shouldn't have made the unnecessary move of asking his sis for advice. As the saying goes, it's better to rely on yourself than on others. So what if he knew nothing about Soft Bun? He had plenty of ways to find out what Soft Bun wanted the most for her birthday. But if he wanted to succeed, he would still have to rely on his grandfather. With this thought in mind, a glint flashed across Lin Jiege's eyes. Early Saturday morning, Lin Jiege woke up. Not wanting to wake the other two sleeping beasts, he washed up and changed his clothes. Then he headed to the hospital. When he arrived at the ward, the attending physician and the nurses were giving Grandpa Lin a checkup. Lin Jiege didn't disturb the group. Instead, he quietly stood by the side and waited for the examination to end before asking, "How's grandfather's condition?" The attending physician glanced at Grandpa Lin, who had been alive and kicking when he first entered the room, only to find that Grandpa Lin was already on the verge of death upon Lin Jiege's arrival. Upon meeting the other party's gaze, the attending physician immediately shook his head and said, "Grandpa Lin's physical condition is still a little terrible. Perhaps there's a problem with the dosage of the medicine he was given previously. I'll hold a meeting with the hospital head later to look into the matter, and I'll discuss it with you then." Lin Jiege nodded and politely said thank you before personally sending the attending physician and the others off. By the time Zhang Xian returned to the ward, Grandpa Lin had already sat up with Auntie Sun's help and was in the midst of eating his breakfast. Lin Jiege didn't interrupt his grandfather's meal. When the latter was about to finish his meal, he casually asked, "What's the date today?" Grandpa Lin glanced at Auntie Sunday. Auntie Sun tilted her head and pondered for a moment before reporting a date. Lin Jiege replied with an oak before falling silent. It looked as if he was just asking for a date. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.